Right, today I have another very interesting visitor from abroad, and if I can ask this lovely lady to introduce herself, tell me who you are and where you're from.
Okay, I'm Arlene from Israel. I traveled from Israel just to see the Sir Peter Chan and of course his lovely work here.
Oh, okay.
It's priceless.
But are you into bonsai? Have you already started doing bonsai?
I started with bonsai. I have actually, I think the easiest to do is the jade.
Oh, jade plant. Jade plant.
I don't know the plants, mostly
Jade plant,
plants.
yes, jade plant.
Only jade plants I know.
Okay.
And I found it's very interesting, and I want to continue that and to leave my children with this beautiful plant.
There are some people doing bonsai in Israel. There must be some.
There are, but not very popular.
Okay.
I can't say that.
Okay. All right. Okay. So what made you interested in bonsai? You could be interested in other plants or other gardening.
I have to start learning the names first of all. I don't know the names,
but what makes
I
you
started.
interested in bonsai?
It's controlled. I'm
okay.
I'm living in a small apartment.
Okay.
I can do that outside,
Okay.
not inside.
Yes.
I am interested in doing outside bonsai plants.
All right. Okay.
I'm very thankful that I'm here with the boss, big boss. It's not only VIP boss.
Okay. Okay. Hope you enjoy your visit.
I will, and I hope to come back and work for free. Really, I'm serious. Okay, thank you.
Another lockdown newbie.
Where from?
From Kent, Maidstone.
Kent. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Peter kept me entertained during the sleepless nights.
So, were you introduced to bonsai through a video, or have you been doing bonsai for a while?
I've liked it for quite a long time.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's definitely the videos that have inspired me and kept me interested and start a collection myself.
All right, good. And your first visit here? Or
First here.
Okay, my goodness. So many firsties here.
Yeah, I'm only an hour away, but it's just one of those things that.
Okay. All right. So it's always nice to know, that so many people get interested as a result of YouTube. So that's the biggest thing that the digital world has created, the YouTube thing. Because without YouTube, I would not be able to reach so many people. The books are different, but YouTube is absolutely sensational.
Yeah.
So keep up.
No, we'll do. Thank you very much.
Okay. Friends from Germany. Tell me who you are. Right. Your name, sir?
My name is Werner.
Okay.
My name is Angelika.
Angelica, okay.
Our living place is in northern Bavarian.
Okay.
We have two sons
Okay.
who are not all interested, but they do in bonsai.
Okay.
My English is not so
No,
good.
that's very good.
No.
So they watch my YouTube videos?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Both.
So they sent you to look at the nursery?
Yes.
Your friends.
Okay, all right.
They
I'll
are
say
your
hello
friends.
to them. Okay. All right. That's very nice to know. How come they're not here? They're working or don't? You still brought your two sons with you?
We are in holiday
Oh, okay.
journey.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay.
That's nice to know. So you're representing your two sons.
Okay.
How nice.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Just enjoy.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so we have some friends from Italy today, YouTube followers. If you can tell me who you are, where you're from.
Where are you? We are from Marche, Italy. We follow Peter
On YouTube, but you
on
also
YouTube,
have my
but
books.
And also
Two books. It's got the original Masterclass in Italian version of Masterclass. Italian version of Masterclass. And then you got the latest version of Masterclass. You sent for it. I will sign for you personally. Okay. So there you are. We have friends from everywhere. So you're enjoying your visit? Okay. All right. I'm always pleased to have friends from other countries. So you're on holiday with family, okay?
Yeah.
And is your son interested in bonsai?
so.
Still,
How old are you? 13, 14?
14.
14.
I'm still learning, but I really like bonsai.
Yeah, English very good. My grandson is 13 and he's 5'9", taller than me. Okay, but you'll soon catch up as well. Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks.
Okay, so I have here another YouTube follower and from Toronto of all places.
Toronto.
So can you tell us something about yourself, Paul?
Yeah, I'm just in England visiting friends, but
Yeah.
I'm a retired landscape architect and I specialize in Japanese gardens.
Oh, gosh.
So now I'm just doing a little bit
So
of
I'm
bonsai.
very sorry to miss you in Toronto when I was there 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
not to worry. Good to be here.
Yeah, I believe there's a nice Japanese garden in Vancouver, isn't it?
Oh, there's many.
Many?
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
All
Canada does have some good gardens for
yeah,
sure.
Good. All right. Next time I'll spend more time because people in Vancouver and what is it? Some other towns they say, "Oh, why don't you come over and this and that?" I can't be everywhere
Well,
at the same
Victoria,
time.
that's one place you might try.
Quebec.
Quebec is good too.
All right. Okay. Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you,
Okay.
Peter.
So I always like to introduce my YouTube family to the other viewers, and especially if they have come from a long way back. Jeff says that he's known me for more than what, almost 40 years?
40 years.
So he bought bonsai from me back in the 80s when I started, so you
Indeed.
still have some trees from those days.
You imported
You're
me.
older than I am, so
Yeah,
I'm old enough, I'm old
Unfortunately,
enough.
that's true. When I came from first saw Peter, he imported me a white pine. He was doing white pines at a very good price then. I think we paid something like £45.
30 or 40 pounds.
Yeah,
a
and
big
he
one like that.
quarantined it for
3 weeks or 3 months.
3 months,
yeah.
quarantine.
Yeah.
And then I drove back from Medway where I was living and took it home like my prized possession. He had though influenced me. You influenced me in my love of the oriental look and the beauty of a tree. And and I learned already that it meant plant in a pot.
But you've been doing bonsai 60 years.
60. I've got a tree
Longer
that I've
than
had
I have.
62 years.
62 years, that's a long
So
time.
yeah, and it's great to be back. And the day before your birthday.
Yes, that's
So
right.
can I say for all your friends, oh yeah, happy
Okay,
birthday.
all right.
Julie's from New Zealand, and is stunned by
Yes,
the beauty of the
absolutely.
trees.
Amazing
Yeah.
here.
Okay,
Amazing.
so I hope you viewers enjoy it and come on a journey, especially those of you who are from the old days. I'd love to meet you again. So
Yeah, and
all the
anybody
best.
hasn't really come here, they should come and see. When you
Oh,
stand in front of these
yes.
trees, it is breathtaking.
It is.
It is.
Absolutely amazing. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. God
Okay.
bless. This is a very historic and special video for my YouTube followers because I don't often get people from the past, and from the past that had a big role to play in the development of herons. This is Jeremy Wilson, and he's the son of Mr. Ian Wilson, who lived in Wymill House next door, and you had a big hand in starting this nursery. I don't know how long did your father stay at Wymill House, and
Well, actually, it was my grandfather's
Oh.
house. So my grandfather bought the house. He wanted to.
what
get
year was that?
Back in the mid to late, probably early 50s, actually.
Early 50s.
Early 50s. And so he wanted to get out of London. He was retiring.
Hmm.
Actually, he wasn't. He was still working. Big man, he was still working. But he wanted to get out of London, have a country house, and
Hmm.
that's what Wymill House fulfilled. And also set up his son, my father, in
Okay,
business. So
okay.
that's how the nursery came about. Probably
Okay.
in about.
But they didn't
54.
own this part, isn't it? Wymill House was separate.
I think.
Someone else owned this part.
Did they? Well, you know more about it than I do. You're
So I
more of a
believe,
historian
yes.
than I am. But anyway, he acquired this land. And
Which
then,
year was that? Not in 50s.
Yeah, it was in the 50s.
In
yeah.
the 50s?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Probably mid to late 50s. And obviously set about creating a nursery as well.
But he wasn't a nurseryman.
My grandfather.
Yeah.
No, he was in the city.
Okay.
But
So he employed people to run the nursery.
no, my father was.
Oh.
He was building it for my father.
Okay.
So I think he probably put the funds up to
Okay.
do it, but it was really for my father. My father had been to what do you call it? School,
Horticultural school.
horticultural
yeah.
school,
College, yeah.
quite a good one, I
Yeah.
think, and learnt the trade. And then this was his
Yes.
startup really, and so they put in all the greenhouses. They
So
wrote.
you put up the greenhouses,
My father did, yeah.
including that big white one we had, 15 foot high, that massive
Yeah.
one. And there were several other greenhouses. There were 5 greenhouses in all, 5 greenhouses in all, which collapsed in the 87 storm. Okay.
I remember them well because every summer I'd be picking tomatoes. Green hands, green face. I hated
So
those
you
green
grew up
hands.
here. Were you born here as well?
I was actually well. We had a shop in Lingfield.
Yes.
So
Was it Lingfield or East Grinstead?
both? So
2 shops.
So we had a florist's.
I tell you what, when I came here in 1985 and 86, we saw in those innocent huts, there were some paper bags with Wilson's Florist or something. So they were paper bag, carrier bags
Yeah.
with your firm's name on it.
Well, my mother had a very good florist business
Yes.
in East Grinstead.
Okay.
And my father had a fruit and vegetable shop in
Oh.
Lingfield. But we started with the fruit and vegetable
Okay.
shop. I grew up my early years actually at Wymill House.
Wymill House.
Until about the age of 3. And then Lingfield above the shop. And then we built the house.
But then
Herons.
this land wasn't owned by your grandfather or father, isn't it? This was a separate piece of land.
Well, they acquired it. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah, back
because
in the
that
50s.
little cottage was the nurseryman's cottage.
Correct. That was
And then the story of building herons. When was that? Was built in 1966, I remember.
I think you're probably right. Yeah,
66.
That sounds about right.
And of course, the planning history is that you were allowed to build it, but you had to pull down the Wymill cottage.
Oh,
But-
really?
Yes,
I
but
didn't
that
know.
cottage was left, and then I think there was a dispensation that although okay, we let you keep it, although you were meant to pull it down, but it only could be used for relatives of the Wymill house.
Okay.
So that is the history of that. Okay, how did the name of Herons come about? Because everyone who comes here are fascinated. Why do you call the nursery Herons? You know, nothing to do with bonsai. No?
Don't you see any herons?
Okay, so is that why you call it Herons? Because
Well, I didn't, but my mother did, I think.
Okay.
So I think we had a lot of herons around here, so she decided to call it herons.
Herons,
I don't think it was my
okay.
father's idea.
All
but-
right.
But no, it's a bit of a mismatch with bonsai, maybe. But
No, we kept it when I came here in 85, 86. We love the name because in Chinese and Japanese folklore, herons and cranes are very lucky birds. So we said, oh, that's
Yeah.
a sign of good luck, good fortune. So we kept the name, you know. So herons was kept because we love the name. So we always have used the name of herons. And of course, herons now has a brand image worldwide. So we've built it up. So
you've done very well.
yeah.
You've done very well.
But after you left, I think the Atkins, he, with his, I think a benefactor, there was a German lady, Gertrude something, I can't remember. She had the money. She funded him to buy the pub and to buy herons.
Oh, really?
But he didn't run it. I think, when did you sell herons?
79,
79.
78, 79.
So he kept it till 85. So that's 6 years he had it. So while he owned the pub, he tried to run the pub, but not successfully. And he pretended to grow things, but he all just raised cabbage seedlings in a tunnel. But he didn't run it as a nursery. And the council were always after it because there's an agricultural occupancy clause here. So you got to run the nursery, not just live in the house. So that is the history of herons.
But for many years, my father ran it as a nursery. So we were growing things
Yes,
here.
and the orchard as well.
Well, actually, the orchard was always
belonged to
separate
Ernie,
to
yes.
Jones, Ernie
Yeah,
Jones.
Ernie Jones.
So, but their daughter Joyce
yes.
worked here.
Okay.
And she was all very like going back to the Second World War, like back to the land girls.
Yes,
She
yeah.
had
Yes.
what do you call those?
Dungarees.
Dungarees and a hair
Yeah.
scarf. She was fantastic.
Yeah.
And there's a chap called Ben who lived down the road
Yeah.
that drove the van.
Yeah.
So we used to sell to all the shops
Yes.
in the local area
Okay.
before Tesco, Sainsbury's, and all the others.
So that is the last
grew
when
into
this
their
was
strength.
used as a smallhold. Were any of
Yeah.
the other properties used as small holdings?
Not that I'm aware of. No.
So this was the last remaining small holding.
But it's got a history.
It's got a
Wymill,
long
yeah.
history. Of course, it is the women's
Yes.
farming movement, isn't
Yes,
it?
yeah.
Women farm and garden.
Where did they do that?
All the dwellings, all the 19 dwellings were
Really?
part of
Okay.
the thing. So it's in the title deeds. Okay.
But what I like about it, I mean, you've done a fantastic job here. It's just beautiful, and it's far more beautiful, and it's far more modern than when my father owned it. There were a lot of very old greenhouses and old buildings, so you've done an incredible job, and you've made it look so beautiful with all of your trees and lake and landscaping. But the good thing about Wymill Lane in general is that it hasn't changed. since I was a kid. I'm 62,
Yeah.
and it hasn't changed since I was 9 years old when I 7 years old when I first came here.
Although the pub has changed hands so many times.
It has.
In the 37 years I've lived here, it must have changed hands about 12 times.
Yeah.
It's only changed hands last year again.
I know. Yeah.
Someone else
But
bought it.
it hasn't. The lake hasn't changed.
Okay.
As a kid, I used to play around the lake, and I love coming back here
But
occasionally.
Ernie Jones used to tell me that there were water lilies going in the lake. They used to boat in the lake before the ski club came. Except there weren't so many planes in those days.
Well, the thing is, actually, I can tell you now that planes are quieter now
Was it?
than they were when I was a kid.
So I'm glad you dropped in.
It's fantastic to
And
see you.
nice to see you.
Long time since I've seen
All
you.
right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for giving us the inheritance.